Atomic chess. Boom, everything explodes. Imagine this. Every time you capture a piece, it explodes. Yep, that's atomic chess. When a piece is taken, it blows up everything around it, except pawns. They're like the indestructible cockroaches of chess. The strategy? Aim for the areas around the king. One good explosion, and it's game over. It's kind of like playing chess, but with a side of Michael Bay explosions. In this example, white is totally toast. No saving that king. Boom. Game over. Shani. Chinese chess with a twist. Shani, or Chinese chess, is like regular chess, but with some cool extra features. There's a river in the middle, and when pawns cross it, they suddenly get a power boost, kind of like leveling up in a video game. There's also a cannon that can only capture by jumping over another piece. Oh, and don't forget the 3x3 palace where the general, like the king and advisor, have to stay, making it feel like they're always grounded. If you like chess but want more interesting rules, Shani might be your jam. Fog of War, hide and seek, but with chess. Imagine playing chess, but you can't actually see the whole board. Welcome to Fog of War. Here, you can only see the squares your pieces can move to. The rest of the board? A total mystery. It's like walking around in the dark, hoping you don't bump into something. Like an enemy queen. Knights and pawns are your scouts, sneaking around trying to figure out where the enemy is. Meanwhile, you have to keep your king safe because you never know when you'll hear, "Surprise! You're in check." It's basically the chess version of being in a spooky haunted house. 4-player chess, the game of betrayal. This is where things get wild. 4 players, 1 board, and chaos everywhere. In 4-player chess, the goal is to be the last person standing, which means teaming up with others, until you backstab them later on. You can feel it coming, can't you? You're working with someone, and just when you think you're safe, they turn on you. It's kind of like Survivor, but with chess pieces. The only real rule? Trust no one. Shogi, Japanese chess with extra moves. Shogi is like chess, but with a cool twist from Japan. It's played on a 9x9 board, and you've got 20 pieces with different abilities. You'll see some new pieces like the lance, which can charge forward as far as it wants, and the silver general, which moves in 5 directions. Oh, and here's the kicker. If you capture an opponent's piece, you can drop it back on the board as your own. The last 3 rows are your promotion zones, and when a piece enters, you can flip it to make it stronger. It's like getting a power-up mid-game. Shogi is like chess, but with a lot more options, so you better stay sharp. Casting spells while you play. Ever wanted to play chess, but also cast some magical spells? That's exactly what spell chess is. You've got 2 types of spells, freeze and jump. The freeze spell locks down a 3x3 area on the board, so no piece can move from that spot for the rest of the turn. The jump spell lets you leap over an enemy piece. Picture this. White freezes black's king, putting it in check, and black runs out of freeze spells. Black tries to block the check, but white casts a jump spell, leaps over, and boom, black's king is done. Magic and chess together? Yep, it's as fun as it sounds. Giveaway chess, the game where you want to lose your pieces. In normal chess, hanging a piece is a nightmare, but in giveaway chess, it's the whole point. The goal here is to get rid of all your pieces. Yep, you heard that right. Blundering is actually how you win. If there's a legal capture, you must take it, which leads to some wild, brain-bending strategies. You can even win by getting yourself stalemated. So, if you're ever feeling down about losing pieces in regular chess, try giveaway chess, where throwing pieces away is the master plan. 5D chess. Chess with time travel. Okay, this one's a real mind-bender. 5D chess lets you move pieces not just on the board, but also through time. Every time you go back in time, you create a new timeline, and before you know it, you've got multiple chessboards across different dimensions. Things can get super complicated, but that's what makes it fun. Imagine talking to your future self who warns you not to make a bad move. "I'm you from the future, don't push that pawn." Yeah, it's kind of like that, totally nuts, but also pretty epic. Bughouse, Team Chess, with a twist. Bughouse is a wild and fast-paced version of chess played by 4 players in teams of 2. Here's the cool part. Every time you capture an opponent's piece, you pass it to your teammate and they can drop it on their board as one of their own pieces on their turn. So you're not just playing your own game, you're working with your partner, trying to coordinate attacks and defenses across both boards. It's like tag team wrestling, but with chess pieces. You've got to be fast, think ahead, and communicate with your teammate if you want to win. Horde, the pawn army takes over. In Horde, white shows up to the party with all the pawns. Seriously, it's like they invited every pawn in the neighborhood. Black plays with the normal set of pieces, but white has a whole horde of pawns. The goal for black? Capture all those pawns before they promote or smother you. The goal for white? Push those pawns forward, sacrifice them strategically, and try to checkmate black. It's a real David and Goliath situation, except this time David has like 36 slingshots. Chaturanga, the ancient origin of chess. Chaturanga is the OG of chess. Invented around 1,500 years ago in ancient India, it's like the great-great-grandparent of the chess we play today. Rooks, knights, and kings move just like they do in modern chess. But back then, the queen didn't exist. There was a minister who only moved one square diagonally, and instead of bishops, you had elephants that moved 2 squares diagonally. Chaturanga is where it all started, so playing it is like stepping back in time to see where your favorite game came from. Crazy House? Chess, but with instant replays. Crazy House is like chess on steroids. Anytime you capture a piece, you can put it back on the board as your own on a future move. It's one of those games where just when you think the enemy king is safe, boom, your opponent drops a queen out of nowhere and checkmates you. You've got to stay on your toes because the board can flip in an instant. It's fast, it's chaotic, and it's a whole lot of fun. Chess 960. Let's shake things up. Chess 960, also known as Fischer random chess, is all about creativity. In this variant, the starting positions of the pieces are randomized with 960 possible setups. But don't worry, bishops still have to be on opposite color squares. The idea here is to get rid of all the memorized opening theories and make players rely on pure skill and creativity. No more predictable openings, just you and your opponent figuring out the game move by move. It's the only variant officially recognized by FIDE, so if you want to challenge your creativity, this is the one for you. Chess with checkers. Same game, different look. This one's pretty simple. It's regular chess, but all the pieces look like checkers. Sounds easy, right? Not exactly. The different look makes it harder to keep track of which piece is which, so it's a great way to test your visualization skills. Just try not to accidentally move your knight like a checker. 3-check chess. Check 'em 3 times to win. 3-check chess follows the usual rules, but with one extra way to win. If you manage to check your opponent's king 3 times, you win the game. That's right, checkmate isn't the only goal here. Sacrificing a knight or bishop to deliver a check is often totally worth it. In this variant, even if you're ahead in material, you can still lose if your opponent racks up those 3 checks. For example, white could be crushing in material, but if black lands the 3rd check, it's game over. You've got to watch out for those sneaky checks. Chaturanga, ancient strategy meets points. Chaturanga is another ancient Indian strategy game. Thought to be a predecessor of modern chess, but with a twist. It's played with 4 players. You're not just aiming to checkmate, you're also trying to rack up points by delivering double and triple checks and capturing active pieces. There's even a boat piece that moves like a rook, adding a cool dynamic. The ultimate goal? Earn more points than your opponents. It's like a chess game with a high score counter. King of the Hill. Get your king to the center. In King of the Hill, your king doesn't just need to survive, it needs to march to the middle of the board. If you can get your king onto one of the 4 central squares without being in check, you win. Sounds simple, right? But don't get too excited about reaching the center, or you might find yourself checkmated while celebrating. It's a balancing act of pushing for the center while making sure your king stays safe. Duck chess. The game with a rubber duck. Okay, this one is just plain fun. Duck chess is like regular chess, but with an added twist. There's a rubber duck. Each player moves the duck on their turn, and it opens up tons of tactical possibilities. You can use the duck to block defenders, trap pieces, or even unpin your own pieces. The duck doesn't belong to either player. It's just there to mess with both of you. It's like adding a wild card to every move. AntiKing Chess. The king. That's opposite of everything. Meet the anti-king. This king is the complete opposite of a regular king. Instead of being in trouble when attacked, the anti-king wants to be under attack. If it's not, you lose. The goal in AntiKing Chess is to checkmate either your opponent's regular king or their anti-king, but if a player ends their turn with their anti-king not under attack, they lose instantly. It's like playing chess in the upside down. Everything is backward. It's a total mind bender. Hexagon Chess. More sides, more enjoy. In Hexagon Chess, things get a bit trippy. The board is shaped like a hexagon, and instead of 2 colors, there are 3. Rooks can move straight, bishops diagonally, and queens can go both ways. The king? Well, it moves a lot, but in this wacky hexagon world, it feels like everything is turned up a notch. Get ready for some wild moves in a totally different dimension. Upside down chess. Let's flip it around. Also known as 69 chess. Yeah, you read that right. This variant flips everything upside down. The black and white armies switch starting positions, which means pawns are just one step away from promotion. But here's the catch. Their own pieces block them at the start, so only the knights can move first. Soon enough, the board is filled with queens, and things get pretty chaotic. It's like chess with a fast-forward button. Queens everywhere. Portal chess. Teleporting pieces around. In portal chess, things get a little sci-fi. There are portals on the board that let pieces teleport from one part of the board to another. So, you could be facing off with a bishop on one side, and suddenly, it's attacking from across the board. It's like playing regular chess, but with instant teleportation. Just watch out for surprise attacks from the other side of the board. It can get sneaky real fast. Infinite chess. No borders, no limits. Ever felt like the chessboard was too small? Well, in infinite chess, the board has no edges. Pieces like the queen, rook, or bishop can move forever, literally. They can attack and checkmate from millions of squares away. And your strategies are no longer confined to just 64 squares. It's the ultimate sandbox for long-range thinkers who want to play chess with no boundaries. Hand and brain. Teamwork with a twist. Hand and brain is all about teamwork and communication. One person, the brain, tells their teammate, the hand, which type of piece to move, like knight or rook, but the hand gets to decide where that piece goes. So, you've got to be in sync with your partner and hope that your brain-to-hand connection is strong. It's like having a co-pilot, but one that can surprise you with where they steer the plane. Monster chess, David versus Goliath. In monster chess, white only has a king and 4 pawns, but white gets to move twice each turn. Black, on the other hand, has the usual set of pieces, but only gets 1 move per turn. Even though black seems to have the advantage in material, it's super tough to checkmate white because white can always move twice and escape. It's like a game of cat and mouse, where the mouse can run really fast. Racing Kings, a race to the finish. In Racing Kings, the goal isn't to checkmate, it's to get your king to the 8th rank first. All the pieces move like they do in regular chess, but checks and checkmates are illegal. It's a race to the finish line, and strategy is all about finding the fastest path to victory without getting stuck. It's a fresh take on chess that turns the usual goals upside down. Well, that's every chess variant explained. From quantum pieces to Racing Kings, there's a version of chess out there for everyone. Whether you're into teleporting bishops or team-based strategies, these variants will keep your chess games interesting, fun, and full of surprises. Enjoy!